Hello, every pony, and welcome back to Fandom Fridays, where we proceed to check out all the fanfics that are pony related. Why? Because today I'm in an Ultraman mood. So, let's see what we got. I have two choices between two Ultraman crossovers. One for Naruto, and one for Ruby. One for Naruto, and one for Ruby. Well, let's do a quick look at what the Naruto one provides. Let's see. Quick introduction to the alternate universe featuring Ruka, yada yada yada. Naruto going to die, and then the bell test. Wave mission. No! No, 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 no. I'm sorry, folks. I know it's part of the beginning of Naruto and all that, but I'm getting sick and tired of every single bad Naruto fic or Naruto crossover doing the fucking wave mission! I'm surprised there isn't a parody fanfic out there where the cast of Naruto hears that they're about to go into the wave mission and you can hear a collective groan! Or a parody where the Naruto cast hear that they're about to go onto the wave mission and Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura all decide to riff it. And decide to alter things a bit just to see what would happen if they pull it off. And if anybody ever finds a fic like that, please put it in the comments. So instead, we're going to a fandom we haven't messed with in a while. We're doing some RWBY. So here is the Ultra Huntsman by Starboy 24 TCOOS here at the Treeberry Memorial Library. Enjoy. The Ultra Huntsman by Starboy 34 TCOOS. Oh, for Pete's sake. We were doing so good with the screen names. Chapter 1. Do you ever wonder what life's out like there out in space? If it truly exists out there at all? Nonsense. If we can't get into space, what makes you think anything else can? And even the Grim can't get into space. The two enlisted soldiers conversed as they patrolled around Beacon CCT. It had been 2 weeks since the Atlas military came to Beacon in preparation for the final festival. General Ironwood wanted to make sure completely nothing could go wrong before and during the festival 2 months. However, Professor Osmond was less than thrilled at all the military personnel stationed around his academy. Look, man, there's nothing such thing as aliens, right? Nothing lives out there in space. We have to be curious. What if one day aliens come out to Remnant? You've been watching too many sci-fi films, Dan. The man called Dan just sighed as he looked up towards the clear night sky. As he watched, he saw what looked like to be a shooting star beaming across the sky. He smiled to himself and closed his eyes to make a silent wish before turning back to his friend and continuing on their patrol. Nomadic tribes were a common thing in Remnant. Living out in the land where Grimm roamed about was a dangerous lifestyle to live. Despite this fact, many lived through it and made up by day after day regardless. On this night, a small tribe of 20 people, comprised of humans and faunus, were resting for the night after a large group celebration. As everyone packed up and began to get ready for bed, a young girl wearing a bandana around her head looked up to the sky to see a shooting star. Her eyes were lighting up as she closed them to make a wish. However, that wish came to a halt as the tribe leader pointed out that something large in the sky was heading closer to the camp. Little father's girl grabbed her and ran back to his wife as he fled with the other tribesmen away from the large object that was hurtling towards their camp, landing right in the middle of the campsite, making a small crater. Mr. Arashi, what was that? Was it a creature of Grimm? We need to get out of here fast! Everyone calm down! Yelled the leader of the group, now named Arashi. You have to remain calm, or we're going to attract Grimm to us. Now then, Jason, Raph, Rosh, follow me. We're going to investigate. The 3 men nodded and followed after him. The 4 men walked over to the crater to see what hand landed near the campsite. Arashi pulled out a gun that he holstered in case it was a creature made of Grimm. The smoke had made it a little hard for him to see properly. None of them would get inside the crater. Jason, you go down there and take a closer look. Take my gun. Arashi handed Jason his gun as the man slid down to the crater. He got a little closer as he saw a strange yellow light blinking in the smoke. and his head in to take a closer look. However, a white beam shot at him in the chest. Sword beam drained almost instantly from the intense power and heat. Sharp burning pain erupted throughout the young man's body. His breathing becoming more and more ragged as he fell to the ground. Harris slid down the crater to check on Jason as he continued to throb around in pain. Jason! Jason, what happened? Ralph grabbed and kept hold of Jason, who was writhing around Ralph's arms. The young man's eyes shot open before he finally went limp, his body dissolving to nothing but smoke. All that was left of him was his clothes. Are we about to do Ultraman vs. War of the Worlds? Because I feel bad for the Martians. The three men were horrified by the sudden death of their fellow tribesmen. All he did was walk towards the mist, starting to feel pain for his death. They needed to get out of this crater fast, as the rest of their tried to safety. Let's go, now! Yelled Rossi as Raph and Ross followed after him quickly out of the crater. He returned to the rest of the tribe as he told them of the unexpected death of Jason. This drew the members into a frenzy, all fearful that a monster was in the crater, and he would be next. Rossi tried to keep people calm as best he could. However, this only made the situation worse, as the sounds of roars and growls echoed around them within the forest. The Grim were coming, and they had to get out fast. Rossi told the group to quickly round up whatever supplies and necessities they alone quickly make their way towards the border of Vale. As the people began to scatter, gather whatever was left of their belongings. More white beams fired from the crater, hitting the mother and father of the little girl who cried out in horror, "Mommy! Daddy!" As he ran for her parents as they were writhing on the ground for agony, one for Rossi to grab her and run. The little girl struggling to break free. Let me go! Mommy! Daddy! Arlia, stop struggling! We need to go now! Sorry, but we can't save them now. Rossi ran, holding the now maimed Arlia, as more beams came from the crater. Soon the tribesmen were all gone. And grounds offended, as the figure walked out from the crater. Arlia's father, in his last moments of life, looked up to see as best he could, as the darkness, a tall figure with two claws for hands. They looked down at him and laughed at almost a human-like laugh. A laugh that echoed through the night. A laugh Ariel could hear from a distance. A laugh that would haunt her dreams at night. It was in the middle of noon when Team RWBY was called up to Professor Osmond's office. They were informed by Professor Goodwitz that Osmond had an important mission for the four to partake in. Anybody ever have a feeling that maybe Volume 3 did the whole entire let's abandon Beacon too soon? Because I just keep noticing how many fanfics just stick over here. I received a call from the Vale Police Department that a group of nomads arrived in the city today, frantic about an attack that happened to them late last night. They claimed that something from space landed near their campsite. Whatever it was, attacked and killed three of their tribesmen, two being the parents of a little girl. They described their members being shot by some white beam that would almost instantly destroy their aura, causing the assaulted person to experience excruciating pain, eventually dying and dissolving to smoke, only their clothes remaining. They claimed to be possibly an alien that attacked. However, the police, as you would expect, didn't buy their story. However, the people refused to leave until at least a huntsman was called in to assist them in their crisis. That is where you four come in. Why is the first to speak up? With all due respect, Professor, you can't possibly read a story about aliens. I'm going to have to agree with Wise. This seems a little far-fetched, Professor. It could have been Grim that attacked their village and devoured these people whole. And Blake, I understand that all this sounds like a simple tale for sure. As huntsmen, it is our duty to protect and serve the people any way we can. Nomadic tribes have little to no defense against the creatures of Grim out there in the wild, and need any support they can when dealing with extreme dangers. Right now, I will have the four of you accompany the leader of this tribe to where the attack happened. 3 Atlas soldiers will be going to gather data as well on this crater that was made. Do you accept this task, Team RWBY? 4 girls huddled together and discussed what needs to do. I say we go for it! Us future huntsmen have to be ready to help out helping hand whenever! Shouted RWBY. I don't know, Ribs. I think you were freaked out by some Grim that attacked them in the dock. But I do agree we should go and help them out. We could go in, investigate, see some Grim, and be back in time for some... Oh! Seriously? why you need to be careful with ownership dialogue. Retake. I don't know, Rubes. I think they were just freaked out by some Grim that attacked them in the dark. But I do agree, we should go and help them out. We could go in, investigate Slays and Grim, and be back in time for some R&R. That doesn't sound like a bad idea, right, girls? Why simply rolled her eyes at you, blonde. Why is it that you can never take your job seriously, guy? Hey, between you and I know when to relax and when to be at the ready. You just need to learn to mellow out, Ice Queen. Yang teased. Excuse you? Well, I think I know when it's appropriate to hear that. Also, stop calling me that! Blake decided to interject before the two could argue further. I think we should just take the job. Besides, we're holding out the professor. Before turning back to see, Osborne was simply staring at a chair and drank his coffee. Oh, don't mind me, girls. Just continue to discuss if you need to. Oh, Vic, we're doing so good with the enter button!
Sorry, Professor, we got a little sidetracked. But we sent a message, sir. Team Ruby won't let you down,
declared Ruby, Weiss and Yang mumbling under their breath. Excellent. I'll have your transport ship ready in a few minutes. You'll be landing near the edge of the city limits and meeting up with the leader of the tribe. Ironwood's men will be doing most of the investigation, so you four will focus on keeping watch for any Grim or bandits that may attack. I'll contact you in about 15 minutes, so be prepared by then. The four girls nodded as they hurried out of his office. He turned around his chair to take a good long look outside his office window. Aliens. This may be an interesting turning point for Remnant. The vital ride out to the outskirts of Vale only took about a good 10 minutes. Once the airship reached the location, Team Ruby could see an older-looking gentleman standing by with 3 Atlassian soldiers. The airship landed and the girls jumped out to greet the TIE leader. Hello, young ladies. You must be Team Ruby from Beacon Academy, I presume. The four nodded as Ruby walked over to shake his hand.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
The name's Soko Arasi.
I'm Ruby Rose, leader of Team Ruby.
Weissney, a pleasure to meet you. I'm Blake Belladonna.
Sup?
Yang Zalong. I want to thank you, girls, for coming here to help me and my tribe. I know that you probably think we're crazy for thinking aliens attacked us. Weiss and Blake avoided eye contact with Arasi as he claimed this. But I promise you, I won't waste your time like this if it wasn't important. I saw 3 innocent people killed that night. 2 of them, the parents of an adorable little girl who watched her mother and father killed before her eyes. Hearing this shocked the girls.
Is she okay, Mr. Arasi?
Asked Ruby. She wasn't harmed, but she won't be the same after what she witnessed. However, the rest of my tribe and myself all agreed to do everything we can to support her. It takes a village to raise a child, as they say, or in our case, a tribe. Team Ruby couldn't tell he was dead serious on his promise, but couldn't help to smile. One of the Atlas soldiers stood up. Sir, we should get going. The general expects us back within 3 hours. Rossi sighed as he turned to the man. I apologize. We can get going. I'll show you all where our old campsite was. Rossi began to lead the way as Team Ruby and the other soldiers followed suit. It was about a 15-minute walk towards the old campsite. The girls taking note of the crater in the middle of the clearing. 2 of the soldiers spoke to each other quietly as they walked over towards the hole and began investigating. Blake decided it was best to ask Arasi a little bit about the attack. Mr. Arasi, what can you tell us about what you remember seeing last night? He thought for a moment before turning to Blake. Well, it was really dark out there, so I couldn't see too well. The campfire didn't offer much light, and only honest was the little girl I mentioned before and her mother. All I know was there was a blinking red light among the smoke inside the crater before Jason was attacked. Jason? Asked Yang. One of my tribe members. He was a good man, mid-30s, I believe. Poor fellow had started writing a pen pal at Minstrel, too. Feeling his friend won't know what happened to him now. As they confessed over the events of last night, the 2 soldiers in the crater were searching around for anything that could tell them what could have caused the large hole. The only thing they could find was broken pieces of machinery. Pieces that all looked like it was made of a large disc-like object. One large piece had technology and tubes that neither have ever seen before.
What do you think this is?
It looks like some kind of UFO. UFO? Come on, man, take this seriously. Are you? What could possibly make a large hole like this? It will scream. It would have solved a log by now. Has to be UFO. Or could have been a drone from Atlas that malfunctioned across here. I've seen a lot of drones back home, and I can tell you, none of them ever looked like a large disc with seemingly nothing attached to power it. It has to be a UFO. The two continued to argue over the origin of the mysterious object, only to be stopped by the sounds of someone screaming loudly. The scream caught the attention of Team Ruby and Arasi. The scream turned to frantic yelling soon after. Help me! Help me! Arasi's eyes grew stronger in fear. Aurelia! That's her voice I recognize. What's she doing out here in the forest? Arasi turned to Team Ruby. Please, you four have to help me find her. Grim may be after her, or worse. The girls nodded as they armed their weapons. Blake stopped to listen to the screaming and pinpoint where it was coming from. Hear anything, Blake? Blake continued to listen as Aurelia shouted again. The scream coming from the west direction. Found it! Ruby turned to see two soldiers coming out of the crater. You two stay here. We'll go find the little girl. If it's Grim that's chasing her, we'll handle it. The soldiers nodded as the four turned to face the forest. And again, you see, I wouldn't have this problem of mixing up the voices if these people would just freaking press the enter button. Head off. Let me slip for his forehead. Please make sure she's okay. Aurelia was told to stay with the rest of the tribe, as Arasi went out with a group of huntsmen to investigate their attack the night prior. However, she couldn't sit still and do nothing. She wanted to find out what it was that killed her parents and why. When everyone was busy trying to set up a new campground, Aurelia took this chance to follow and head over to their old campsite. She took a wood carving knife with her as a means of defending herself in case she was attacked. She tried towards the old site was a long one, determined to go there and find the monster that killed her parents. However, she was unaware she was being followed through the forests. Growls began to erupt from the trees, Aurelia growing afraid as she looked around her surroundings. She could see multiple red eyes all targeted on her. Soon one pair got closer as the white mask of a Beowulf became visible to her. She saw the large stand on his hind legs, growling at her ferociously. Other four wolves surrounding her slowly began to close in on the poor girl. She let out a scream as she took off, running for her life. The Beowulfs began to chase her as she ran hard and far as her legs could take her. Eventually, she tripped over a few branches and hit the ground hard. Larger than the 5 Beowulfs jumped at her, hovering over Aurelia as they looked on in horror. As the alpha was about to bite out her, a fist socked it right in the jaw and drew it back into the group of 4 wolves. Aurelia looked up to see a tall girl with long blonde hair, picking her off the ground. You okay, kiddo? Aurelia stood as the girl smiled. Good. Glad to we got you in time. Aurelia set the girls down as the girls came running as well. Little red-hair spoke up first. You found her, Yang? Yep, good thing too. The alpha was about to make her a lunch. Yang took a fighting stance. His wife and Blake stood next to her, also preparing for battle. Ruby, take the kid and head back to Hirashi, okay? We can handle these guys, said Yang. Ruby nodded as he grabbed Aurelia by the arm and took off running. Where are you taking me? We can't leave them. Aurelia tried to wrestle off Ruby's grasp. Ruby stopped to let Aurelia free. Don't worry, we're huntresses. They'll be fine if I'm not there. Anyway, I need you to get back to Mr. Arashi. He's worried sick about you. Mr. Arashi's nearby? Ruby nodded as he held the girl heading out to Aurelia. The girl hesitated for a second before finally grabbing Ruby's hand and eyeing her. Okay, let's go then. Ruby smiled as the two took off for the old campsite. As they continued to run, Aurelia began to hear the sound of laughter. Laughter that was all too familiar. She let go of Ruby's hand and dropped down to her knees, holding her hands over her ears. Ruby knelt down to Aurelia. What's wrong? Nothing. It was the same for last night. It's the monster slab. She covered her ears. Tears flowing from her eyes. She couldn't help but think of last night's attack. Laughter? I love hearing laughter. Should I go, King? Ruby tried to take her best to keep Aurelia calm, as she began to hear laughing herself. Yeah, laughing, echoing as it went on and on. She stood up and armed Crescent Rose, ready to defend Aurelia with her life, if need be. Who's there? She shouted out. She heard the sounds of branches and crunching towards her right. Started to see a creature she never had seen her in her life walk out from the trees. It was a great creature with 2 large pincers for hands. Its 2 yellow eyes watched from Ruby and Aurelia closely. The small fox hid behind Ruby in complete fear. Ruby switched Crescent Rose to a sniper mode and pointed the gun at the creature. She fired off several rounds, but the bullets simply bounced off the creature's body with no scratches, and left their futile attack. Pointing out to the pincer on the left, and fired a right beam. Ruby grabbed the radio, used her semblance to dodge out of the way, and fired off several more beams at Ruby. She continued to dodge each shot as he held out to Aurelia.
Aurelia, you need to run and inform Mr. Rossi about this. So 2 Alice soldiers as well. Tell me exactly what happened here.
Aurelia was too scared to move. She wanted to close her eyes and pretend this was all a bad dream. Ruby continued to hold on to her as she dodged the white energy beams from the monster.
Aurelia, please. I know you're scared, but I won't let it hurt you. I need you to tell the others what's going on. You have to be brave.
Ruby was getting tired from all the dodging while holding Aurelia. She wouldn't be able to keep going as they were. She set Aurelia down and began running for the monster, switching Crescent Rose to a scythe form as she slashed at the monster. The blade scraping over the hard exoskeleton of the creature as it laughed at her futile attacks. She had to buy Aurelia time to get away by assaulting the monster directly. She knows it didn't bother to attack her close range. Then again, her attacks did little nothing to harm against the skin. Aurelia watched Ruby continuously attack the creature, despite her attacks being useless. She hadn't understand why she tried so hard just for a kid like her. If they who they were. She tried to build up the courage to escape. Aurelia picked herself up off the ground and made a run for it. Monster saw this and swatted at Ruby, who dodged the attack. Pointed his pizza at the fleeing Aurelia, preparing to fire a beam off at her. Ruby saw this and acted fast. Using her semblance, she ran in front of the monster's pincer, holding her arms to block out its view of Aurelia as it fired a red beam at Ruby directly. She felt a cold wave pass over her body. She froze up completely. She didn't move her arms or legs at all, her senses freezing up before she lost consciousness. The creature let out frustrated grunts, prepared to fire its white beam at Ruby. However, a strange boomerang flew in and sliced the monster's left pincer. It cried out in pain as the blood sprayed out of the wound. It turned to see what it was that attacked it. There stood a being it feared meeting on this planet. I won't let you harm this young girl, Bolton. The figure was human-sized alien, red and silver armor. A metal protector plated on his chest and shoulders, as she had a metal face with noticeable yellow eyes and a green gem on his forehead. The boomerang came back to the new being as she grabbed it, placed it on top of the head. You may have screamed to me before, Bolton, but this planet will be your grave. I won't allow you to harm the people here. Creature, now knows Bolton, now frustrated yell as it used its remaining pincer to fire a light beam at the mysterious red and silver alien. Can I just say, seeing an ultra-human mode will never look not strange to me. Dodged out of the way of the beam, held up its hand near the green tip of his forehead. The green energy beam fired out its gem and hit the Bolton square in the chest. Yelling, crying out in pain as his chest smoked from the attack. He had to run away, knowing this was a losing fight. When the mysterious alien held his arms into an L shape and fired a white energy beam into his right arm, hitting the Bolton in the back and blowing it to pieces. The Bolton now dead, the red and silver alien walked over to the frozen girl, whose body was beginning to thaw out. Luckily, she was still unconscious but alive. Held the girl in his arms, walked over a tree, placing herself down gently. Such a young girl as yourself, willing to fight against a dangerous alien as a Bolton. I admire your courage and drive to save that little girl. This planet is foreign to me, but you inspired me to stick around a little longer. More monsters and aliens may invade, and I'm the only one who could truly defeat them. But I can't go around looking like this. Thought for a minute, looked down at the girl again. An idea came to mind, focused intently on the girl. His body began to glow a golden hue. Its lights came from the eyes and wrapped around his body, covering it in a bright white light. Its light died down. The mysterious alien now had the likeness of a human woman with long jet black hair. She wore a red and silver sundress and a silver skirt. Her face almost looked similar to Ruby's, but slightly older looking, and her eyes, the color was green. She had a pair of red-eyed guard glasses over her eyes. Taking them off and putting them into the pocket of her skirt, she looked back to the young girl, still unconscious. A little side note here, but Ultra 7 is kind of important to me, to my development as growing up, because back when I was a kid, Ultra 7 used to come on TNT early in the morning. So before I could go to school, I had a chance to watch Ultra 7. Greatest experience of my life. Although, I have to wonder if it's had any effect on the way I put on glasses. Nope, not at all. It'll take you used to being a woman, but I think I'll adapt fine. However, I'll need to learn a little about this planet. She thought for a minute as she heard voices approaching to the location. Ruby! You know, Vic, you could have made Ultra 7 a woman. I mean, there are female Ultras. Like Ultraman Beth, the Ultra Mother. Quite a few, actually. She went down to the girl and figured she must be Ruby. Acting quickly, she ran up to a tall tree and climbed up it, hiding herself as best she could. She watched and saw 3 other girls run into view over to the unconscious girl. The tall blonde kneeled down and held the Ruby in her arms. Ruby! Ruby, are you okay? She shook Ruby almost slightly. Ruby opened her eyes to see her sister and teammates surrounding her. Yang, what? Yang smiled and was relieved to see her sister was okay. Oh, thank God you're fine! What the hell happened? Where's the kid? Kid! I remember we were attacked by some creature I'd never seen before. It may be an alien, Ruby explained. Large pincers and saw white beams everywhere, and I had to run away to get Mr. Rossi and the soldiers while I held it off. But it was going to shoot her as she ran away. I got in the way to block her, and the shot saw a red beam at me. All I can remember was feeling unbearably cold before I passed out unable to move. So this alien shot you with a beam, rendered you unconscious, yet it didn't bother you to finish you off? Asked Weiss. She found Ruby's story too ridiculous, but he did see an explosion near this area, so something must have been attacking here. I don't know. Actually, I don't know even how I got to this tree. Maybe someone came and brought me here? I doubt anyone besides us, the little girl, Mr. Rossi and the Atlas soldiers would be out here this far in the forest. We should be ready to hunt back then. See if the girl made it back okay, said Blake. Hank held Ruby onto her feet and they all walked to the campground. Sky's the alien girl was completely out of sight before she jumped in a tree. Ruby, huh? I could use a name myself. She thought for a moment before coming up with a good name. Osaria. That sounds like a good name. Osaria, it is then. I should keep an eye on these girls. If one bolts in land here, there's bound to be more around. I'll need to help them with their attack. The people of this planet. I wonder if they'll accept my help. Now named Osaria began her trek through after the 4 girls to see what this strange new world had to offer. It starts with the opening. I gotta actually sing a little bit of this. Here's the thing. Here's the thing about the openings I gotta mention when it comes to Ultraman. Ultraman has these early openings that I hate. It's got a bunch of little kids singing the opening, and I really, really dislike listening to the kids singing my Toku opening. It takes me out of the action, and it kind of removes me from the part. It really does. And sadly, we don't get good Toku openings until Kamen Rider. But I'll try. Besides, I kind of like the beat. Hit it! 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7! From across the galaxy is where your home lies. Ultra 7, Final 7, Ultra 7, 7, 7. It's the end of the Milky Way with the Ultra Eye Spark. 7, 7, following the name of Osaria Moroboshi. Ultra 7, Hero 7, Ultra 7, 7, 7. The fire-breathing monster with the Ultra Beam Strike! Okay, this opening chapter is pretty good. I kind of do wish the author actually made Ultra 7's base form a female 7 because, you know, again, as I said, there are female 7s out there. They're female ultras. Trust me, I've seen plenty of them. But I do like that he seems to actually be willing to help, and the monster did actually feel a little tougher, but it wasn't really putting down the RWBY cast. I also do like that the girls were active, and it doesn't feel like this is going to be one of those, oh, I'm going to put my crossover OC to bang my favorite characters. In the end, this is still a fun, cute little crossover. One down, thousands more to go. See you next time.